Hello and welcome to Military History Everywhere. The weapon we're going to be looking at today, this is a copy of the 1858 Remington. It's basically a 44 caliber. This copy here is made by Pieta. It's not 100% historically correct, but it's the only Remington I have, so that's why we're using it. It's still a beautiful gun. Brass frame revolvers during the Civil War, there were really only a couple Confederate companies that made them, Grizzled and Gunnison and Spiller and Burr, and they weren't really made out of brass. It was called gunmetal, which was like a bronze alloy. Henry rifles kind of use the same process, but that's just a side note. The main features of this gun are exactly like the Remington 1858 model. Remington was a competitor of Colt, and even though it was called the 1858, that was actually mistaken. That was the patent date that was stamped onto the pistol, but the actual pistol came out, I believe, in 1860 or 1861. The 44 caliber Remington Army only had a 8-inch barrel. Like I said, this is called the Bison. It's a Pieta copy, but it's got the important features that I wanted to point out that made the Remington, in many ways, a far superior revolver than the Colt 1860 Army. Remington had the top strap, which made a really much stronger frame, and they also had the linchpin here where you could drop the cylinders out and put another preloaded cylinder in, making it a lot faster to reload than the Colt 1860 Army, which basically had the barrel attached with a pin right here. We're going to shoot this gun. We're going to be using number 11 caps here. Just like in my other videos, these are really hard to get nowadays, but I wanted to show you a Civil War revolver, black powder revolver, the loading procedure and actually shooting it. And we're going to be using 451 round ball with the GoX black powder. This Pieta Bison, even though it's not 100% historically accurate as a Remington, it's a really nice gun. I love shooting it. It's very accurate. Remington, like I said earlier, they were a competitor to Colt, but the Colt factory, I believe in 1864, burnt down, and Remington got contracts to manufacture for the federal government. And Remington was also the first firearms company. They paid a royalty to produce the bored-through cylinder and produce a revolver that shot metallic cartridges, I believe, in 1869. So they were basically the first revolver to shoot metallic cartridges even before Colt. So enough talking, and I'll show you the loading procedure, and we'll shoot a couple rounds. In the 1860s, during the Civil War, here I'm just giving you kind of a better view of this 1858 Remington copy by Pieta. This one-piece frame was really revolutionary during the Civil War. Like I said, this is that feature that I was telling you about, where the one frame, and you could just basically drop that cylinder out. You could have a much higher rate of fire when you carried preloaded cylinders, and especially for cavalry, that was very effective. So I just wanted to show you that right there. And I forgot to mention, if I can get that back in, all these weapons are fun. The Remington also had safety notches on the cylinder, where the Colt, there was no safety. But on here, you can basically kind of lock the hammer into that, and it would provide a rudimentary safety. Got that locked back up. So if you're carrying 2 or 3 preloaded cylinders in 1860, 1865, especially if you're a cavalry, you could have a pretty high rate of reloading and shooting with this Remington model revolver. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get shooting. Now I'm going to show you the loading process for not just the Remington, basically any Civil War type revolver. It's kind of crazy. I brought all these long ass barrel guns to shoot today, but this is going to be on a separate video. So basically, you put the weapon on half cock, which frees up the cylinder. I'm going to put it down here on the table for a minute. And since this is brass framed, it's recommended I'm only going to shoot 20 grains of powder. But you got to load. It takes some time. It's kind of like with the dog lock revolver. Trying to have the patience to do this, especially during a battle. But each individual keeping the weapon pointed in a safe direction, you got to load up each cylinder. But you put the powder in there. I'm not using any wads today, but that's your round ball. Put that on there like that. And then you ram it down like that. That puts that ball home. And I'm going to do that 5 times. Okay, now I got all 6 chambers in the cylinder loaded. I'm only doing this because I'm at the range. If you're carrying this on your person, you usually only load 5, skip 1, and then keep the hammer rested on that empty chamber as a safety mechanism. But since I got this loaded now we're going to take these caps here with the weapon pointed in a safe direction. And that's basically your igniter for these old pistols. We're going to load that up with 6. And then we'll get to shooting. You really had to have a lot of patience back then for, we're so spoiled nowadays with shooting and with ammunition. And but the Civil War was an interesting time. It was basically the start of the Industrial Revolution. Kind of like technologies with computers is advancing so fast nowadays. In the 1850s, 1860s, all the way up 1890s, military technology or industrial technology was advancing so fast that battlefield tactics couldn't keep up with it. The Civil War saw a wide range of innovations like the Gatling gun, trench warfare develop, and the tacticians and the theory of battle back then had a hard time keeping up with the technological advancements. Anyway, got this loaded up, pointing in a safe direction. Now we're going to go down range and show you what an 1858 Remington looks like shooting. Okay, got my eyes and ears on. Now we're going to see how the sucker shoots. Like I said, this barrel here's about 12 inches long. That's not historically correct, but everything else, the frame, the way it shoots, the design of the gun is just like the 1858 Remington, minus the brass frame. But I love this gun anyway, and I just want to give you an overview of how Civil War era type black powder revolvers operated, were loaded, and shot. So let's get some rounds down range. Woo! A lot of smoke. Oh, that was 6 rounds. Didn't have any caps fall off. Pieta, I got to tell you, I like Uberti and Pieta making historical reproductions, but the last couple years, my favorite historical reproductions, weapon wise, have been Pieta. They just seem like they make a superior product. It's kind of like my 1911. It's really personal opinion. But anyway, let's do a first person shooter type situation. All right, got this 1858 Remington bad boy loaded up. Now it's historic first person shooter time. We got it pointed down range, and here we go. This gun's pretty accurate. Creates a lot of smoke, but there you go. This rainy weather. This Pieta is a really good weapon. You're not going to go wrong. I like Pieta a lot. But yeah, this is a good copy, minus the barrel and the brass of what an 1858 looks like and operates like.